Hey spooks, it's Kaylee from the Spookies. Today I wanted to tell you guys a spooky story. So, this took place in Lansing, Michigan. I lived there for 5 months, and it was one of the darkest times of my life. Just mental health, physical health, overall well-being was very poor. The house was massive. It was 2 stories with a basement. It had 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We had a little bit of a front yard. There was a porch, and the backyard was a shared driveway between us and our neighbors. I didn't really talk to them because they were like not my crowd. A little tour of the house. So you pull into the driveway, you walk in the back door, and you are immediately standing in the kitchen. And from the kitchen you can see the dining room, which we'll call that the middle room, the front room, or the what a living room would be to like a normal household. That was where we kept all of the craft supplies, and I would make my art in every single day. And then the front door was there too, and then the front door led to the front porch. So there was 3 rooms in a row, and then off of the middle room was a little hallway that went into a bathroom, and also down into the basement. Going down into the basement, it was wooden slat stairs. So the type that someone could like reach and grab your ankles and like make you die down the stairs. And then there was a support beam in the middle of the main room of the basement. And on the bottom of the support beam there was a Jesus hymn just embedded into the ground. And of course, like, I watch a lot of horror movies, so my mind immediately goes to the remake of Evil Dead in the very beginning, where they're like burning the demon out of this girl and she's like tied up to a pole in the basement and they're like saying blessings. So that's where my mind went when I first saw that. There's the stairs to your right, and then a little wooden door. And this wooden door was super janky and like not on the frame all the way. But you open it up and you walk into this cold, damp, like pitch black room. Above you there's a single bulb that you can turn on, and it lights like 3 feet in front of the door. There's these concrete mounds that are, like surround you, that's like 4 feet in, that just like go up and over and dissipate into black abyss. And to this day I still have no idea what's on the other side of them. A flashlight also didn't really do any justice. You kind of shine it back there and there's just like, and the flashlight like doesn't hit anything. It's just like you're shining a flashlight into nothing. It used to be warmed by coal or something, so there's like trap doors in the floorboards of the first floor that go down into the basement. It was totally fine when I was living there and wasn't terrifying. Yeah, that was the basement. Let's move up to the second floor. So you go up the staircase and straight ahead is a small second bathroom and a bedroom. And you're facing the back of the house right now, so the back bedroom, and then there was like a little hallway that went down. And there was a middle bedroom, and then there was the front bedroom. And the front bedroom was the biggest, so I put the stuff for it to be the master bedroom in that bedroom, and then the other 2 were art studios. My overall experience of this house was very alone and dark, is what I would use to describe it. I lived there during wintertime and I couldn't afford to keep the heat on, and like heating a 3-bedroom house in the Midwest that was made in the 40s. It's a very drafty house, so keeping it warm fully was very pricey, and I, for the most part, like just warmed up the room that I was going to be in with a portable heater. So I would just like set up the heater, and then generally I would just like chill out with my cats. I had 2 cats at the time, and I'd be like on my computer or like taking pictures. I would do like photo shoots because I was bored a lot. Or I'd just be making art in the craft room downstairs, and I'd bring the portable heater with me, and I'd just like camp out with like a blanket and the portable heater, and I'd be doing whatever. I was home alone from like 9:30 at night to 8:30 in the morning. So I'd be home alone during all the witching hours and all the creepy hours of the night. The energy of the house when I first moved in was very lacking. There was no good or bad energy. And so I was like, okay, well, when I decorate the walls and like live in here for a little bit, it'll be my energy, and my energy will replace the vast emptiness of this house. After a few weeks, I started feeling something watching me. This thing would watch me all night. I tried doing a like house blessing when I was like starting to get those weird vibes. Basically I just like did a little cleansing ritual in the middle room, and the whole time that I was doing this, I felt something from behind me watching me, and I was like, I'm probably just paranoid. I didn't know the house very well at the time, and so I was like, I'm probably just freaking myself out. So I did the ritual, and the ritual included things in a jar, and I put the jar in the craft room on a shelf along with some crystals and candles and stuff like that. That was the only safe room of the whole house. When I lived there, Jax would walk around the house and like he would walk in a way that was like super low to the ground, so he was like half crawling, and he would look up at the ceiling and just meow. If I was in the craft room, he would come in the craft room with me and just like hang out. If I wasn't though, and I was somewhere else downstairs, he would go upstairs, sit at the top of the stairs and meow for me to come to him. When he wasn't doing that, if I was in the bedroom, he would sit on the edge of the bed, like between me and the door. In other places that we've lived together, he hasn't felt the need to sit in between me and a door or like sit by me the whole time that I'm home. I would be sitting in the bedroom or doing whatever, and all of a sudden I would feel this like wave of intense terror come over me, and I wasn't like sitting in a dark room or like watching a horror movie or anything. I was just hanging out, and all of a sudden I'd feel terrified. I would look at Jax to see what he was doing and like how he was feeling, and he'd be watching something like move across the room. There was one morning where I heard like a plastic bucket being dragged in the kitchen, and like dishes clinking, and the garbage disposal was broken at the time, and so I thought, okay, maybe it's just the landlord. My roommate like goes downstairs. There's no one there. The landlord's not there. No one's in the kitchen. No one's downstairs. Nothing. The back door's locked. The front door's locked. No windows are broken. Like, no entry has been made, and no one is in the house. Probably like half an hour later, I go downstairs and I'm in the bathroom next to the kitchen, and I hear the bucket like right next to me. Like, it's the room next to the bathroom. It's so distinct. There's no question about it. It was in the house. It wasn't some weird construction outside or someone like playing, or like some kid playing or something. It came from in the house. So I freak out and I run upstairs. Not today. So a little bit of time passes and things are kind of like normalizing as like a base creepy. Jax continues meowing at the ceiling and protecting me, and I get these random waves of terror, and that's it. Base creepy. I would also hear footsteps like walking down the hallway, and I would hear them like walking up the stairs, and things in general were just like moving. Whenever I would try to sleep in this house, I wasn't ever really asleep. I was kind of just like half asleep, and I would wake up at weird times every single night. Like I'd wake up at usually 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. or 4 a.m. It kind of calmed down until I moved the bedroom from the front room to the back bedroom. And I was like, this room has better vibes. I think it would be better sleeping in there. So that was a good idea, except for the back room was the room with access to the attic. I think moving the bedroom and like moving stuff around in the house stirred the energy up again, and things started getting bad again. So like I heard more footsteps, I heard things moving around more, I felt more waves of terror, like something was watching me more intensely. For months, I had been sleeping in this room with the attic, and I had convinced myself that there was a window up in the attic. I had convinced myself that this window was open and it was scraping branches all up on the ceiling for months. Months! I have never seen an attic with a window. The very last night that I spent in that house was by far the worst. I'm like about to move back to Chicago, and there's boxes sitting on the floor of the bedroom, and like everything's packed up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try and go to bed and it'll be fine. I'll be fine. At 4 in the morning, I wake up and it sounds like it's pouring outside. Like rain's just coming down like crazy, and it's just storming, and I hear this is gonna sound freaking crazy. I hear scratching on the attic door, like scratching. And I'm sitting there half awake, listening to the rain and the scraping on the attic door. And I'm like, this is insane, and this only happens in horror movies. On top of all those noises, I hear brushing against the boxes that are on the floor. I look at the end of the bed, and both my cats are sitting on the bed, and they're not moving, and they're just like kind of looking out into the room. Like,
we're cats.
And it's not sleep paralysis, because like, I'm fully functional. I'm sitting there texting like,
you should come home right now.
to my roommate.
Leave, quit your job, it's time to go.
And they didn't really experience like any of the paranormal stuff that I did. They didn't really have a source to believe me. And they're like,
you'll be fine.
so I'm sitting there for 4.5 hours waiting for this person to get home. And I'm looking out into the room, and I see this like white, it was see-through, but it was like a weird ball of smoke. It dropped down from the attic around the boxes and like moved towards me and just stopped. And it was just standing there. And it was just watching. And I was experiencing that wave of terror again. Rain's coming down, scraping on the attic door, brushing up boxes, and now there's this white smoke ball just like staring at me. So, like any scared indie girl would do, I put on Firma Forever Ago.
Well, it's been a good life. This is it.
My roommate gets off of work, comes home, and from what they have told me, they walked in and the back bedroom where I was sleeping was right above the kitchen. And on the ceiling, they hear that like box brushing sound. Like, we gotta go now. So we leave and we never return. And luckily it didn't attach itself to me, because I would freak out and I'd be calling people left and right and be like, you gotta exercise me, or I'm gonna find a treadmill and exercise myself. Haha, bad joke, but those memories still haunt me. Alright guys, I hope this wasn't too scary, and I hope that it was at least entertaining. If you have any experiences about a demon like this, or a ghost, whatever you want to call it, like this, leave it in the comment below. Don't forget to subscribe for more weird stories, spookies, things. Thanks for watching.